Hello, dear students. Greetings of the day. I, Muhammad Zishan, welcome you to the online classes of Bloomingbird's Code School. Today, we are going to have the fourth lecture of our chapter, first phase of Indian national movement. In this chapter, we have already studied about belief of the early nationalist or the early nationalist leaders of the Congress, and we have also studied about their demands and their methods. Now, one topic we were missing, that was achievement. So today we are going to study about the achievements of the early nationalists. This question is usually asked in 3 marks. They ask you in context of the early phase of national movement or first phase of Indian national movement, write 4 or 3 achievements of the early nationalists. So here are the achievements of the early nationalists. Achievements means what they were able to achieve by which demands of early nationalists were accepted by the Britishers. So, and what they were able to do in order to contribute to the uh, our national struggle. Okay, first phase of Indian national freedom. Now, achievements of the early nationalists, they promoted national awakening, nationalism. So, how did they promoted national awakening or nationalism? They taught Indian people that all Indians belongs to one country, India, and we people should be united, and Britishers are outsiders. Okay, so they promoted this fact. In your book, it is written the early nationalists created national awakening among people that they belong to one common country, India. This made Indian conscious of the bonds of common political, economic, and cultural interests that united them. So they also said that we people, Indian people, are having common cultural, political, as well as economic interest. Okay, our interests are same, so it united the Indian people. Then after that, uh, second achievement, they were able to promote nationalism among the Indians. Second achievement was political training, right? So they trained Indian people. They gave Indian people political training. They taught about the idea of liberty, idea of freedom, idea of you can say uh, equality, okay, democracy. These all concepts were taught by the taught to Indian people by the early nationalist leaders. So the early nationalists trained people in politics by popularizing the idea of democracy, civil liberty, secularism, and nationalism. So these ideas were taught to the people. Okay, what was the secularism? What was the civil liberties? Okay, with and what these all things were not known to the Indian people. So these early nationalist people, they taught all these people to the Indian people and made Indian people, you can say, train Indian people politically, so that they can ask for their rights later on. Then third is exposed true nature of British. So these early nationalists, especially Dada Bhai Nauroji, they exposed the nature of the British rule. Dada Bhai Nauroji wrote a book, the Unrule of the British, and his, and in his book he taught about the drain of wealth theory. Now, in drain of wealth theory, he taught people how the Britishers were responsible for the drain of Indian economy to the to the Britain, right? And uh, in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule, okay, in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule, he gave the theory of doctrine of wealth, doctrine uh, drain of wealth. Now, what was the doctrine of drain of wealth? he taught that the Britishers are earning money from India in the form of pension, salaries, remunerations, perks, okay, and these all monies are spent in Britain, okay, and this the traders and all the people those who were here in India, they were just appointed to uh, render their services, okay, to the uh, British East India Company or to the Britishers, right? And their families and their belongings were in the Britain only. So whichever amount they used to earn from India, they used to export it to the Britain to their families. So likewise, they were not spending the money which they were earning from India in India only. Okay, if they were spending in India only, then it means, okay, Indian people also would have flourished economically. These Britishers people would have, spent this money in on various things. Okay, but actually they were just spending money on the things of their necessities, and rest of the money was sent to the Britain. Okay, and the company or British Crown later on, they were earning a huge amount of revenue and profit from the business also, right? So that like this, they were earning a lot of amount of money, and it was, they were responsible for the economic decline of India, right? So this nature that British people are here to exploit India economically was exposed by these early nationalists. Okay, to expose true nature of British rule in India, then establish the truth that India must be ruled in the interest of Indians. So their demands establish the truth that the India belongs to Indians, and British people are responsible for the economic decline of India, and hence India should be ruled in the in the interest of the Indians. Okay, not in the interest of the Britishers. If you are ruling us Indians, then you should rule according to the for the interest of the Britishers. Sorry, for the interest of the Indians. Now, the point in the book is that the early nationalists did pioneering work by exposing the true nature of the British rule in India. They made people realize the economic content and character of the British imperialism. By doing so, they weakened the foundation of the British rule in India. Their political and economic programs established the truth that India must be ruled in the interest of the Indians. Then next point is appointment of the Public Service Commission. So this was one of the very important point. Okay, their efforts were due to their efforts only one Public Service Commission was appointed. Okay, it was a commission for recruiting the bureaucrats in the civil services. Okay, like today we are having UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, which is responsible for organizing, for holding exams for IAS, IFS, IPS. Okay, so likewise, ICS exams were conducted by this Public Service Commission. Okay, and sixth was that ICS. In ICS also, they were the exam was conducted in Britain earlier, right? But because of their efforts, okay, it was also conducted then later on in India also simultaneously. So at two places the exam were conducted, in Britain also and in India also. So this was also done by the efforts of early nationalists. And then Valby Commission. Valby Commission was the commission which were appointed under Sir Valby and Lord Chairman and Lord Valby. Now, what was this commission? This commission was appointed to audit the expenditure of Britishers. Okay, as it was claimed by the early nationalists that the British people are, spending a lot of amount of money, right, uh, on various works, okay, on which were not in the interest of the Indians. Okay, so like for maintenance of the army, for making for erecting telegraph poles and all. Okay, right, like Red Sea Company and telegraph companies, they were you can say draining the wealth of India, right? So and they were spending a lot of amount of money on these things. So these early nationalists said that the works which are being done in India are not in the interest of the Indians but in the interest of the Britishers, and uh, a lot of amount of money is being spent on that. Okay, so you should stop doing that. Okay, so for that, one Welby commission was appointed to look into that. Ki how much extra vacancy is there? How much extra amount is being spent on the things as it has been claimed by early nationalists. Okay, according to the claim of early nationalists. Then Indian Council Act of 1892. Indian Council Act of 1892. We have studied that before India Council Act 1861 was passed, and according to that, there was the viceroy was supposed to nominate a member or appoint a member to the Imperial Legislative Council, okay, from India, right? So later on, they demanded that the number, the Indian representation in the legislative councils, whether it is Imperial Legislative Council or Provincial Legislative Council, should be increased, okay? So according to this act, the number got increased, okay, and these people were able to discuss budgets also and finance matter also, which we have studied in the last video. So this was all about the achievements. In next lecture we will study about the criticism of the early nationalists. Thank you.